and welcome to Failing Forward, or finding success through alternative and innovative learning. My name is Jenna Burke, and I'm a K-5 STEM teacher at Sycamore Elementary in Collierville, Tennessee. My mentor and partner in all things STEM is Miss Risa Elder. She's also a K-5 STEM teacher in Collierville at Terra Oaks Elementary. Our goal today is to share some mindset adjustments and classroom design challenges that can easily be used to help embed the Tennessee engineering standards into your everyday science lessons and provide students the opportunity to learn to fail forward. Carol Dweck says, "Love challenges, be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, and keep on learning." Ultimately, we want our students to grow up to become productive and innovative leaders, but that takes time and lots of practice. As educators, we can help by guiding students' thinking, helping them learn to focus on the process rather than the product. In doing so, they learn to take chances and believe in their abilities, becoming independent and lifelong learners. Asking questions such as, what made you think hard today? What can you learn from this experience or mistake? Or what would you do differently next time? Helps shift the focus from a finite solution to infinite possibilities. Helping students develop that growth mindset and learn to fail forward takes constant and purposeful practice. Embedding the Tennessee State engineering standards into classroom activities is the perfect opportunity for ongoing development of that growth mindset. One thing we introduce right from the start is the engineering design process itself. We usually begin with this simple Crash Course Kids video before diving into a design challenge like building a house with sugar cubes, so that we can work through the process together, clarifying expectations, such as making sure that the statement of the problem and the task is included, and ensuring that elements of a diagram like labels are clearly used. Designing something together allows me to demonstrate how to label a diagram and make sure that my instructions are clear, so that I don't need to give an example during a full design challenge. We don't want their ideas influenced by their teachers. The egg drop is the first full design challenge we did this year. We started with the book Egg Drop by Minnie Gray, which is a really silly story about a young egg that wants to fly. We try to include trade books to integrate literacy whenever possible. The challenge itself was that students were asked to design a tool that would help protect an egg from cracking when it was dropped from 6 feet in the air onto a hard surface. The egg had to be a raw egg. They had to make sure that the egg was not permanently fixed to their design. And they had to make sure that they only used regular household items. Once the designs were submitted, students shared their designs in small groups, and then the group voted on one design that they would like me to build following the design plan. Being that this year was totally virtual for our students, they were not required to build and test their design, but they could if they wanted to, and many chose to do so. Here are a few examples of some of our student design challenges. Notice how detailed they are in their instructions so that I could easily follow their instructions and build their design if their group had chosen theirs. A few days later, when I had each design assembled, we did our egg drop test. Here is one of them. As you can see, the results were not great. They were a flop. Here's another example of a student who chose to test their design at home. They shared their videos with the class. Then the students were asked to complete the reflection side of their design challenge. But to end, I asked the students to write down their favorite flop or failed design and then explain one thing that they learned as a result of that failure. This is where our students learn to fail forward. Engineers and scientists do not learn from doing something perfectly every time. That is either luck or something that they already knew. Real learning stems from the mistakes, the breaks, and topples, or in other words, failure. But what is most important to practice and reinforce as STEM educators is what did we discover as a result of that failure, and how can we apply that new knowledge moving forward? So often, students enter our STEM lab with a fear of failure and are hesitant to try something new. We have to be very purposeful in giving students the freedom to fail so that they can embrace that failure as an opportunity to learn or fail forward. So, we celebrate our fantastic flops rather than the successes every time we do a design challenge. And we post them on our Fantastic Flops board, which is virtual right now. And they love it. Another challenge that they really loved doing this year was the spaghetti tower. Students were asked to think like civil engineers and design a tower using spaghetti and marshmallows. They could only use 30 dry pieces of spaghetti and 30 mini marshmallows, yet the tower needed to withstand wind and earthquake. After going through the design process and testing it on our earthquake table, they voted on their favorite flops. One of my absolute favorite things about asking the students to share their favorite flops is being able to read what they noticed, what they decided they learned. And in many cases, it's more or different than what I would have expected. So that is what we want your big takeaway to be from this session. You do not have to reinvent the wheel here. Take what you're already doing and allow your students to fail forward. All right, it's your turn. With the remainder of your time, we'd love for you to access the Tennessee State Science Standards and select a science standard to create an engineering challenge around. Some things to consider are what you want the students to be able to demonstrate, what kind of design might challenge their thinking, and what possible constraints you could put in place so that you expand their understanding of the concept you're trying to teach. And since we are better together, we'd love for you to send your design challenge ideas our way. If you include your grade level, the standards it's covering, your contact information, we'll compile all the ideas by grade level and standard and send them out to everyone. You can email myself at jburke@colliervilleschools.org or Miss Elder at relder@colliervilleschools.org by June 30th with your design ideas, or email us anytime with any questions you have. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoy helping your students learn to fail forward.